So a little knowledge about Malaysia. Malaysia is a very tiny country with about 31 million population, situated in the Southeast Asia. All right. So we are part of the ASEAN region, consisting of other countries like Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, and so forth. So we have just recently celebrated our 63rd birthday, and Malaysia considers there is this peninsula and this Sabah and Sarawak. Okay, so our independence was in 1957, and Malaysia is a very multi-ethnic country. We have a variety of ethnicity, Malay, Chinese, Indian, Ibans, and we have a variety of food, and we are also a developed nation. All right, so if you can see from the right picture, we are developing our one of the next tallest building, which is going to be the second in the world. But because of the COVID-19, I'm not sure when is the completion. Supposed to be completed next year. All right. So in our education system, all right, our education system is pretty much shaped by the Malaysian education blueprint. So back in the year 2011, there was a series of planning, a lot of data collection, gathering perspectives from different stakeholders. And comes to 2013, we launched the Malaysian Education Blueprint that will last till 2025. Okay, so in this Malaysia Education Blueprint, we concentrate on 5 major areas, which is the access, quality of education, equity, unity, and efficiency. So we are now in 2020, so we are going through the final laps of the remaining 5 years. Because Malaysia is a very multi-ethnicity country, our schools are not standardized in one stream. Okay, we have our national schools. We also have the Chinese vernacular schools, and we have the Tamil vernacular schools for the primary level. So when it comes to secondary level, these schools combine, and for the students that come from Chinese and Tamil vernacular schools, they will be placed in a replacement, or what you call a additional year of schooling, okay, where before they will spend 1 year learning the national language, or we call it remove class or remove school class, and then they will move on to Form 1 all the way to Form 5. Okay, so the education system in Malaysia is very centralized and is governed by the Ministry of Education, going down all the way to the schools, right? So because it's a very centralized system, the curriculum planning are all decided by the Ministry of Education, broken down into smaller parts according to its subjects and also departments, and improvised and also implemented by the school. So the principals have to take the directive order from the Ministry of Education and implement its policies and its strategic management. Okay, so because of the Malaysia Education Blueprint, we have 11 shifts. Okay, and this, as you can see from the slide, the 11 shifts covered balance student student life, talent excellence, nation lifelong learning, and all these are encompassed in the 10 shifts. Okay, so let's focus on the leadership challenges. At the moment, because of the COVID-19, this is prior to the COVID-19, the Malaysia education system has to face a few challenges. All right, so there are 10 big changes in the Malaysian education system. For the school level, because in 2018, there was a government change as well. So there was some policy change, and one of the 5 major things that they want to do in the school level is to, number 1, abolish the examination for the pupils of 1, 2, and 3, primary 1, 2, and 3. Okay, Number two, they would like to also improve on the undocumented children admission in the public schools. And they would like to have a zero reject policy on special needs students, speeding up upgrading of dilapidated schools, and reducing clerical duties for the teachers in stages. So these five challenges that they are trying to improvise is due to many feedbacks that comes from the roots, okay, from the roots whereby teachers have voiced their concern, parents have also voiced their problems that they face, and the Malaysia education system has to improvise to go through the changing times. So while leadership challenges are trying to improvise this, they will face each of these will have its own challenges because of its own niche area of obstacles. Okay. For the higher education level, we also are moving on to creating university laureates at public universities, research to solve community problems, all right, and then involvement for private higher learning to improve private-public partnerships and also student activism in the campus. So while the principals in the school level are trying to maintain order and also implementation of policies, there are challenges that has to address their learning of improvements of knowledge, skills in the school governance. All right. So in Malaysia, we have established the Institute Amiruddin Baki. This is the institute for the training for the principals. And each principals or aspiring principals have to take a course called NQPL, which is a National Professional Qualifying Education, Qualification in Education Leadership. They will spend from about 5 months for them to know everything they need to know about school management in order to be one of the criteria for also promotion and also as a principal in the school. So due to the reopening of schools after the COVID-19, at the moment we are practicing all these things in the school, and the principals have to manage this pandemic with the directive from the Ministry of Education. And the Ministry of Education has to also collaborate with the Ministry of Health in Malaysia. So the Ministry of Health in Malaysia are instrumental government agencies to decide what is best, what is the next best step for Malaysian schools to move on for their schools, for their students, and for the schools, and even the principals. So we were getting some feedback prior to this from principals about how they manage their students, how they manage their teachers during this time of COVID-19, and most of them also mentioned that they have their concerns, they have their anxiousness, but most of them will normally say that they will wait for the directive order from the Ministry of Education, but primarily from the Ministry of Health. So as you can see, Malaysia has a very good integrated healthcare system in terms of pandemic management, because over the years we have been dealing with cases like dengue, we have cases like Japanese encephalitis, all these viruses that is prevalent in Malaysia, we were handling it before. So as you can see from the news, sometimes our management of our healthcare system is quite resilient in terms of this pandemic system. Okay, so that's how I would like to just share on the what we call some information on our education leadership, especially on the country report. So if there's any question, you can email to me. All right.